And let's talk now a little bit of sports. And Kenya football champions Gor Mahia bowed out of the CAF Champions League late yesterday after an experienced Esperance of Tunisia thrashed them 5-0 to Ghana and 8-2 aggregate. The return leg match was played at the Raid Stadium in Tunis. Hythe June scored a hat-trick in the 44th, 48th and 56th minutes to add on Harrison Ofuol and Idris Mercy's 54th and 74th minute strikes from an action-packed first half. Gor Mahia came back to perhaps press on for the equalizer and hopefully get 2 more goals to advance, but saw a merciless Esperance unleash its arsenals to bring down the Green Army. The other Kenyan representatives in the CAF Confederation's Cup, AFC Leopards, were also bundled out of the continental action on Sunday after falling to SuperSport United from South Africa 4-2 on aggregate. So as we said, our person of interest, John Mutudo, Nakada Boss, stuck in traffic, but the conversation here gets now sporty with our 2 persons of interest. We can talk to these 2, James. They will be our people of interest this morning, James.
Absolutely. It's been a tough one for the Kenyan sides, Gor Mahia and FC Leopards. I'm not putting a team because of Gor Mahia effect, but it's been a tough one for us as a country in the Confederations Cup. Our 2 main teams actually let us down once again.
Wow.
So we'll discuss a lot more of sporting action the previous weekends and even more to come in the weekends. But I'm joined by Lorenzo Diambo and of course the man here, James Martin. Who's the
interviewer in this conversation?
Not to worry.
Not to worry.
Not to worry. Not to worry.
You will know the interviewer. But starting with the discussion, let me start with Lawrence. I'm very sure from the Gor Mahia effect, it's been a shocker for most of you guys. Let me say most of us guys, because objectivity has to be observed from the standard. And what happened with Gor Mahia?
What do you mean what happened? It's football. At times you lose, at times you win. Gor had a very good game. Those of us who are watching it live from the online website, we had a good game. But something happened. Those Arabs went for the first half. When they came back, we don't know whatever they were given. It rained. Yes. And it was very unfortunate that we had to concede by such a margin. But again, take a look at the club as it is today. Esperance de Tunis is a club that, since playing Gor in 1987, has gone ahead to win 2 African titles.
Are you comparing Gor Mahia with the fact that Esperance can win a lot of titles, or we're trying to say this is our team that can pull actually a surprise? Because Smart, I can see this guy is trying to tell us.
I think he's trying to make excuses. What happened yesterday was a thrashing, it was a beating. But yes, the first half was okay. But the problem is, I think that both FC and Gor Mahia, or the local clubs, they need to figure out a way to bring that professionalism to that level. Because yesterday what happened was a loss of concentration, and the experience showed up in a whole 45 minutes. So we should make excuses about, Esperance, 1987 and whatnot. It was a game that you were well beaten, and you need to agree and say it was well beaten.
Something else about Gor Mahia also, I must say, you see, Smart, the players, most of them had already traveled to Sudan, knowing the match would be played in Khartoum. And I must say, they came back again, trained for a few hours, left the team. On Monday, the match was rained off. On Tuesday on Sunday the match was rained off. On Tuesday, they had to play. Do you think fatigue was part of the reasons why? Let me try cover Smart in this. Do you think fatigue might be the reason?
Well, we would have to wait and see what the technical team talks about. Says for flying to Sudan, we were a bit fatigued, and and of course inconvenienced. Have to go there, then come back, then train. Of course, that inconvenience, the preparation of the team. For me, I think it's about the preparation of the team. How focused for the players, but also to agree to some extent that Esperance brought in the experience. The same way FC Leopards lost a lot of experience at SuperSport. It was just a matter of these people just holding on and saying up to the last minute, we know what we're doing with you. FC Leopards and Gor Mahia have not been able to show that. They have good, flashes of brilliance here and there, but that's just that. You know, in the end, they could not hold out the entire 90 minutes.
So, Lawrence, do you think fatigue played a big part in this loss?
You know, I like the way James Smart is arguing. But the difference between me and James Smart here is that I will talk from a point of knowledge. I understand the team, and I understand the predicament of Kenyans. In this, James Smart is a very good guy. As far as
he's a national fan.
Thank you very much.
Internationally, so
have you ever seen James Smart in the stadium?
Yes, I'm an FC Leopards fan. I'm paid member of FC Leopards. Now, speaking of knowledge, no. You've made quite a challenge there. Say I'm speaking out of misinformation.
I think right now, let's stick to Gor Mahia a little bit. We're coming back to FC Leopards.
So now let me finish up what I was saying. Gor Mahia, as you see today, is a team that has come of age. The fact that Kenyan Federation has not put its house in order should not be blamed on God. Number one, I find it very unfortunate if James Smart can blame our players. Our players do not make policies that run football in this country. But our players do not, they do not facilitate issues to deal with transport arrangement. This country last week witnessed one of the most bizarre incidents where a team left the country, national team,
goes to
Khartoum. Then they were just stranded there. I was talking to some of the international-based players who were telling me how they had to bail out some of our players, right? In that team that left, Gor Mahia, as a single club, had the highest number of players.
Absolutely. That's why I was talking the fact that, do you think fatigue might be a reason?
You need to answer the question.
Yes, you need to answer the question. We understand the predicament the team had in Sudan. They didn't play in Khartoum. They were supposed to travel to Darfur. But do you think fatigue was the purpose, the bigger picture of it, why Gor Mahia lost? Because it's a good thing you've mentioned more players were in there. So do you think fatigue is the main reason? Because 5-0 driving, the last time a team was actually beaten 5-0, James Smart.
That's forever. Yeah, it's been a long time.
He's talking on the FC Leopards perspective, but my final question for Gor Mahia, do you think fatigue played a part?
Yeah, comme ça. I will tell you that the reason we lost was grounds of technicalities. We lost on technicalities. Number one, Esperance are technically superior to God. Number two, gentlemen, you have to agree that the current crop of players that Gor Mahia has have not experienced what they went through in
But we have international players. We have Kizito, we have Serenkumo plays for Cranes. We actually have.
When was the last time you heard of Serenkumo playing in Tunis?
Okay, the fact that
temperature,
international
humidity,
international experience,
temperature, humidity.
Speaking as if other teams have never visited.
It's allowed. It's allowed. Case closed. We'll come back to the technical team sometime later on. James Smart now, we're talking about FC Leopards. FC Leopards went to South Africa, 2-0 drubbing. SuperSport came in the country to draw. There's no much difference. We saw FC Leopards fighting to the last drop the bloods, actually, to the 90th minute when Wanga gave the equalizer. What do you think about the first leg? Let's start with the South African first leg.
I think the fair analysis of what happened in the first leg was that, one, FC Leopards went there with the good spirit, the right attitude. You know, and you could see from the first games and the first minute they played. Experience played out in the end. The technicality, I would suggest, and I would say that SuperSport was so much, technically superior to FC Leopards. They could have been matched. The undoing for FC Leopards was conceding the second goal. And that came to haunt them when they came back here. Because when they came back here, you have to attack. And then you have to defend very well. And that's the problem. When you attack, you open up space in the behind, then that's how SuperSport, got behind and got the goals. So for FC Leopards to give a clear analysis, you don't make excuses about temperature, you don't make excuses about national team players, you don't make excuses about, technical superiority.
It's allowed, but defensively, the first half, the likes of Shikokoti, critics actually came pouring onto him that he wasn't fit for that match because he was so porous, and the South Africans actually were able to make sure the two goals actually, when they came in, they bizarre situations. They weren't supposed to go
Lack of concentration.
Absolutely.
Pure lack of concentration.
And what do you think about the defensive system FC Leopards is actually applying? Because we're seeing Masika now not so active. We are seeing now Shikokoti
They are
taking over.
frustrating Masika.
He's talking with the fact that Masika is a former Gor Mahia
I know.
player, and they want him back. It's okay. It's okay.
You want Masika? That's a discussion you can have after this. But I think the coach and the way he's been deploying Masika in this sense, we've seen the last 2 seasons, Masika had been very key, when he plays in his correct position. Shikokoti, on this, he was actually caught. You could see that his lack of concentration, and SuperSport did their homework. They knew his speed, and they could make sure that they are always paralyzed, balancing on him, and got him. And I think that's how we were caught out. And the thing that we should do, as local clubs, and Lorenzo and the fans, FC Leopards and Gor Mahia and Sofa Park and whoever, we should not make excuses. We need to not make excuses. Technical superiority notwithstanding. This is football. These are football players.
But something else about Gor Mahia is the absence of Eric Masika, with the fact that again he's not playing with FC Leopards. Now you see any supporter. Are you a fan or a supporter?
I'm a follower.
But
hold it.
It's okay. That's not answering my question. The thing is, the Masika effect in FC Leopards is not being felt once again. The Gor Mahia effect. He actually played so well in Gor Mahia with Gor Mahia. What do you think about that? Because now fans are talking that Masika should come back to Gor Mahia. What's happening?
Nick, first forgive me. Before you get to Masika, let me chip in on matters AFC Leopards. AFC Leopards.
I was trying to save
were
you. Bro.
Very good.
It is okay.
AFC Leopards were very good tactically, but as usual, the Shemejis will always focus on non-football matters. And I will say this categorically. Build up to the match, there were reports of
Confirmed reports?
huh?
Confirmed reports? In Swahili they say duru za kuaminika.
Confirmed reports.
Confirmed reports.
Since as a journalist, I will tell you for free that I've been in talks with a number of FC Leopards players. They were, boardroom wrangles, and then player just uncertainty, a lot of uncertainty about unpaid allowances. Number one. Number two, AFC Leopards did not plan to win the SuperSport match. They planned to honor. They planned to honor. Nick, I beg you that just give me some time here. AFC Leopards planned to honor. They did not plan to win. Number one, remember their trip to SA.
Yes.
The government had to chip in for them to get visas. Do you want to tell me that AFC Leopards have been seated all along waiting? That is number one.
Let me try to differ. Even the government chipped in about visas, but there's some players who are left behind. What happened? There's some players who did not accompany the first team now left behind. What do you think happened?
The office.
Like I said,
James Martin can answer that.
No, like I said, let's stick to the football matters.
No, because it is a holistic thing.
Lorenzo is very good on non-football matters.
But you see, James Martin just done with the South African leg. We're now coming back to Nairobi, where SuperSport actually came back to Nairobi, and non-football matters. Let's avoid them a little bit. Let's now focus more on tactical approach.
Allow me to chip in on football matters. On the pitch, AFC Leopards, great. It is not in every day that you see SuperSport United or a South African team playing on Kenyan soil, right? Number one, AFC Leopards had an upper hand because of the playing surface. Those South Africans are not used to the turf that we have at Nyayo Stadium. It's very unfortunate. So that is what AFC Leopards should have capitalized on. But they sat back and waited for the enemy to come. They were beaten. Remember, Alan Wanga scored a last-minute goal just to equalize. Just to equalize. Otherwise, they were out.
No problem about that.
Down and out.
James Smart
0.
James Smart is talking from a Gor Mahia perspective. It's allowed. It's allowed. We're here to actually air all these things out. But the second leg here in the country, we saw a very different FC Leopards. We were proud of them. We actually started. I'm talking we, as a Kenyan. As a Kenyan was taking part, not as an FC Leopards fan or a Gor Mahia fan.
You don't make apologies.
Yes, no apologies. I beg your pardon, sorry. We actually started well, but at a point we lost concentration again. The South Africans had a target, had actually a mission to come and just
They just needed one goal. They just needed one goal, and they got the goal. in the beginning and made things a bit difficult. I mean, the plan, you should have seen from the first minute, was very simple. You know, it's a high-tempo game. You have to pin the back. The movement has to be on point, and that is a 100% job. So if one person slackens, the midfield slackens, the problem gets in, and that's what happened. Because FC Leopards were very clear. You have to stay with the ball. It's a high-tempo game. You have to move the ball around. That's the way you pin these guys down, and hopefully you get a goal. The South Africans got the goal. That is the problem. But in speaking about non-football matters, what Lorenzo is introducing, and to clear this up, all right. This country has a lot of problem with football. It's not FC Leopard alone. There's issues with how we manage our football. Okay, boardroom issues. Yeah, notwithstanding. What the fans want and what the fans are looking for in the end is good football, which I think in the last 5-8 years, the football players have put in 100%.
But I understand Gor Mahia and FC Leopards are the two main community clubs. Let me say two main community clubs from the grassroots. Let's think about how they manage their teams. We've had problems here in, here out. FC Leopards, Gor Mahia. But congratulations, Gor Mahia had a very peaceful election.
It's not about election. We're talking about non-football matters. Talking about fans, fans
behavior, matters that affect
like
the team.
That's also non-football matters.
Now,
how is that?
Let me finish that, because now I can't confirm from the journalistic perspective why I see it that some players are not paid from the FC Leopards side.
No one can confirm that. Those are rumors.
They're not rumors.
Yes.
But smart, some pundit or talking about FC Leopards. You're a fan and a supporter.
I'm just a fan.
Yes.
I'm just a fan, a supporter.
So, objectivity not observed here. But still, what do you think about these problems? They keep on affecting our clubs. What happened?
I think it comes back to the fans and comes back to the way we manage football. All right, we cannot expect to have someone who's a politician to come and pay our bills, and then in the end, we're going to sing a song. Fans, like what we've done, go to the clubs, go to the teams, and support the teams.
Now you're talking.
That is what it should be.
Now you're talking.
Yes.
Now you're talking.
I hope, and my prayer is that Lorenzo would come and join us in this other side of business and say what you need to do is from strong community clubs. Okay, that our fans are involved, that we buy merchandise not from Lorenzo and Associates, but from Gor Mahia Football Club. Okay, we buy merchandise from FC Leopard Football. That way we support the team, because the team needs support, Lorenzo, whether you like it or not.
Done and dusted. Anything, Lorenzo, before we go to the next discussion?
Yes, I would like to say one thing. It is very important to insinuate, but make credible insinuation. Right? James Matt is talking about politicians running clubs and funding. Is that what you say?
Can you make your point?
Now, do you know that one of the greatest clubs in Europe, Milan, who runs Milan, is owned by one Berlusconi, who is a politician. If there is a politician who is willing to help development of a club, Tupuizo Mazembe, right? Tipi Mazembe, who is the president, is a politician. These politicians, there are some who mean good, but there are those who do not mean good.
All
so
right.
our football.
Your point is, after saying that word, what is the point? Because I'm struggling to get your point.
No. You made an insinuation that was very unfortunate. Kenyan football.
Let's close this.
We do not have.
Let's close this with the matches tonight. I understand Smart, you'll also be affected tonight, but let's
not
hope.
Being affected.
Let's hope for the best, and we're having Arsenal taking on Bayern Munich once again now. This time away from home. Lorenzo. Yes.
Arsenal taking on Bayern Munich.
Yes.
There is no game there. Let us not waste our time. Let us not waste our time. Let us not waste our time. Let's focus on important issues. Arsenal are already out.
All right.
And I can put my money on that.
James Marge, you can say something.
The good thing about football, it's like opinions. Everyone has an opinion. But those opinions they're not facts. Okay, there's going to be 90 minutes of football. Champions League is about 190 minutes. It's not about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
If you are a football fan, a faithful.
Last season, actually, Bayern Munich beat Arsenal at home, away from home. Now, Arsenal came back and beat them.
Thank you.
I'm not trying to be on your side.
No.
It's part of history.
It's facts.
It's fact, history. But now, let's see this time round. Tonight, do you think these guys will pull something?
I think tonight is very simple. If you watch the first leg, honestly, whether you are...
I know you're an Arsenal fan.
No, whether you're an Arsenal hater or an Arsenal... Because football is revolved around one issue, Arsenal fan or Arsenal hater. So two things. In the first leg, if it was ended 11-11, it would have been very different. But it was unfortunate that Arsenal considered the second goal. That made things a bit difficult going to Munich, because in Munich, you have to attack. You can't have the first 45 minutes staying behind. But that's difficult because you're talking about a team that won the Champions League. They're 16 points ahead in their league. It's a very compact team. Pep Guardiola can change it into so many ways tonight. So this is what happens. So this is what happens tonight.
Against a team that does not want anything.
The challenge tonight. Okay. Like I said, opinions. Everyone has opinions.
It's fine. Right. The final one. I understand where you're coming from, James Smart, but we're talking about history also here, because Lorenzo, as you say, there's no game there. What do you mean? There's no game.
Arsenal, in the international world, there's a lot to do with tactics and rules. Arsenal, to me, as my individual opinion, Arsenal are just playing to honor the match.
Which is an opinion.
Formality, which will come to pass tonight.
All right, Matt, I understand you're a Arsenal fan, but we need to end this, guys. It's been nice actually talking to you. I understand the Gor Mahia effect of Leopards. That was very nice, but let's wait for next year again, because too bad. For Sophia, I understand a lot is happening in terms of sporting world, but I've been discussing this issue about Gor Mahia. I've forgotten something. Hooliganism.
Thank you.
Hooliganism. Before we close this, hooliganism.
Sophia, save me from me.
Don't talk to Sophia right now. Let's finish this.
You're good on opinions.
Hooliganism.
What's your opinion on this?
What's happening? What are you doing about hooliganism? Because
what do you mean?
What do I mean? I've just asked the question. What are you doing about hooliganism? Because I'm very sure Gor Mahia is trying to. Actually, KPL is coming with something. If you cause any mayhem, 3 points, minus 3 points.
I think.
So
okay.
Lawrence,
okay.
You've actually put Gor Mahia on the brightest side. Tell us about hooliganism, because we understand. Okay, I understand FC Leopards is also part of the problem, but the kingpins.
We know the winners of the cup.
On a serious note, on a very serious note, and our viewers should be very glad to have it from KTN. We, as a country, are moving towards curbing hooliganism. Yesterday, I came close to a document. The country, the Judicial Service Commission, Chief Justice William Mutunga has summoned, has formed at last. Has formed.
Your tone has really gone down.
Sports.
What's happened?
Wait. You know the Sports Act, which
Smart
is not aware of.
Get
the
point.
Sports Act. Sports Act. Okay, I would say recommends that there be a sports dispute tribunal. Now on Thursday, the JSC is going to interview. They've already shortlisted people for the interview, and when that the tribunal is formed, when that tribunal is formed, it will be the solution all of our problems. Secondly,
we're running out of time. No, we cannot go on secondly. Yeah, listen, hooliganism, why making the problem for the country, my friend? Okay, fans.
What do you mean?
No, fans, you and many others who walk to the stadium, and
this is national TV.
Yeah, you.
I am a reporter.
You and many others
who walk to the stadium.
And you go to the stadium.
You,
right? This is what we should say. We cannot allow hooliganism under whatever, pretexts, and they say, we were angered by the match, by the ref.
I agree.
Yes. So it is first a club responsibility. Okay. So it's a club's responsibility. Number one. Okay, we cannot say, Chief Justice needs to do something.
True that.
We cannot, Lorenzo.
That's very external.
We can't. We need to be very clear and serious that we say we cannot allow hooliganism, whether it's by university students or by FC Leopard fans or Gor Mahia fans. It should be said.
And then something else is KPL is coming with actually a strategy whereby they brought in some technicians and of course guys from the UK to discuss about curbing this. It's been a disease for a very long time.
Thank you.
And
people who talk from the point of knowledge. You see?
James, this case making you look bad. But at the end of the day is we're trying to curb hooliganism. It starts with the clubs, both FC Leopards, Gor Mahia, any other club. You see, Sony Sugar, who knew Sony Sugar fans will cause mayhem last season?
They did.
They did.
Kakamega
In
Homeboys.
fact, against Gor Mahia, Sony Sugar fans, they had to stop the match when they scored the second
That's
goal.
what's important. That's why it's important for us to say from the
Absolutely,
get-go that
absolutely.
the responsibility is the club's number one.
But we also need, Nick, we also need to recognize the fact that the stakeholders are making progress on this. Last month, me and Nick attended a seminar conducted by Sports Safety Authority from UK, okay? From the UK, and they took us through the process of reining
Of
in
curbing
on
hooliganism.
Number one, as we speak today, we don't have laws to curb hooliganism. The Kenyan Parliament, some MPs, Jacob Midi was in record, to say that they will bring in certain bills. Number one, what you need to do is, if today Nick Mudimba, if today Nick Mudimba, a football fan, runs into the stadium and picks the ball and runs away with it, on what law will we charge him, apart from causing disturbance? We need to have strict laws, and we need to create a police division just to deal with events,
hoping it will serve as an example to
Thank
many.
you.
Hoping
It's interesting that he's equating this, to terrorism and such other issues that needs to be special laws.
As we're winding up, I understand, Sophia, it's been a heated one.
I've never seen Lorenzo talk so passionately about anything.
Oh my
So I don't know whether he's talking as he's been claiming from a point of knowledge, or it's from a point ule fan na kuangalia kila kitu kusema.
Ni fan of Gor Mahia. So
He always has opinions.
Very many
he
opinions.
doesn't miss opinions. That's why he's seated here. That's Sophia. You can take it.
But Manu is still the team.
Absolutely. I forgot about
Manu
that.
is still the team.
I forgot about that.
Now you're
It's a
talking.
nice way to wind up
James
that
Smart, all the
conversation.
best tonight. Tony Cruz is
Arsenal is playing
There's
who?
a team called Olympiacos.
David Goliath, it's a bad thing. But
There's a team called Olympiacos that will be visiting
Sophia,
you shortly.
can you take us through the break? Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Lorenzo,
I
for coming.
will. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. Randomly awesome. Thank you for being with us. We took a short break. Yesterday was World Kidney Day. It was marked yesterday around the world. Today we have a conversation more about that, because the whole week, several things happening to just make sure there's awareness raised on the same issue. So stay with us right here on Morning Express. We are back in a few short moments.